Hello, my name is John,
And I'm Nikki.
and we are the owners of Call Boss and Little John's Lawns and a CRM system that's coming soon.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Yes.
Today is work-life balance, and we do seasons. Nikki refers to seasons a lot. Like there's a season when an employee is here and a season of like you've met the end of their season. And to the point of Call Boss employees, like they start stumbling or whatever, they'll be like, man, I'm not into my season yet, right? Mm-hmm. So it's something that's talked about. But I do believe that there is something that's true with seasons. Season in your business, seasonality, seasons of employees, season of like your cycle of what's going on in life at the time. Mm-hmm. I think there's a big part of that. So I think that the work-life balance, that kind of ties into your season, right? Where are you at in the season? Your work-life balance, do you turn it on? Do you turn it off? Nikki and I have two way different opinions on work-life balance. Fair?
Absolutely. If we want to talk about seasons for a minute, I think it's important to let your team know that it's okay to have a season, right? It's okay if you're burnout and you don't like what you're doing anymore and you need a change, or maybe there's another role that they may be better suited for. And by always having an open dialogue of seasonality, they know that they can come to us at any time and be like, something needs to change, or I'm just not feeling right. But sometimes you'll have employees that know that door is open to have a seasonal conversation about how they're feeling, and they still feel they just want to like slide off to the side and not tell you or just kind of disappear.
Right.
Yeah. So we're kind of dealing with that right now. Most of the team knows that they can just discuss with us or any member of leadership, and we can figure out a solution, because we're always trying to do what's best, because people perform better when they're in their prime season.
Right. Well, it's part of culture, team, everything else. And also to add to that, in this end of the season, like if you're dialed into your team sees when somebody's coming to an end of their season, or they see it and you can almost predict it happening, which is pretty wild. And we just did it again. Like everybody's like, oh, this is getting ready to happen. And you could see it going, even though you're trying to help and make sure that person is okay. But at the end of the day, like they ultimately have decided that their season's over. And
yeah,
you could see it from a mile away.
If they're not loving what they're doing anymore, then we all know it's the season and it's time to end that season. And a lot of people have a hard time pulling the trigger and being able to say, you know what, I am going to bow out. So us as leaders have to bow out for them. Like, You know what I mean? Discuss it with them and say, we never really have hard feelings for anyone that leaves us, and everyone is with us on this journey, is an important part of the journey, but it's for whatever time period they are with us for.
And I know it sounds cliche maybe or whatever, but you're helping them and you're helping the business at the same time, because they're not happy, or they've kind of come to the end of the run, they're burned out, whatever that may be. And then you give them an opportunity to go find something else, right? Because sometimes they're holding themselves back because they don't want to let you down, even though that they're done, working.
Yeah. And that's having that hard conversation too, right? Like it shouldn't be a hard conversation, because people understand that the door is open and we're here and we're open to suggestion and all the feedback and things. But it's still a hard conversation when you have to tell someone, you know what, you maybe don't want to say your season's over, but it's over.
Right.
All the signs and activities lead up to they've checked out. It's time to let them go.
Absolutely. Yeah, Pretty wild. So anyways, we'll go back to work-life balance.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have two different versions of work-life balance for sure. I've been on since we started the business, I think. And that's like 13 years ago when we started Little John's Lawns. And then 6 years ago when we started Call Boss. And now that we have this other one up and going, there's a lot of work on the back end. Mm-hmm. So for me, I struggle with the balance part, because like I always feel like there's the next thing that needs to happen. I feel like there's a lot of employees and my family is dependent to make sure that this thing makes it and runs and operates and does all the things. And where Nikki, she's got a cutoff time. Like when she's home, she's home. Like I'm done. The weekends, she's recharging, shut off. I struggle with that. So it's just figuring out how, it's figuring out what your balance is, right? I believe that if you're in it and you're trying to grow, like you got to invest a ton of time. But I also know that if Nikki does that all the time, she burns herself out, right? And she knows her limitations. She knows that what works best for her and how she operates. Fair?
Yeah, we discuss business all the time. So even if we're not working, either one of us is going to have an idea, and then it's like, let's discuss it. Let's figure out if we can implement it. Where would that work best? Like there's always something that we're talking about to where we don't shut it down.
Right.
But for me, yes, like both of our businesses, office-wise, admin is closed at 4. So come 4 o'clock, I'll button up some things, and then by like 4:30, 5 o'clock, like, okay, I'm done. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it like for the rest of the day. But it wasn't always that way, because then in the beginning, the grind is completely different.
Right.
So if we're talking work-life balance, when we first started the company, there was none. Right. We were both like just trying to make sure that the business was a thing. We started with like procedures and how are we going to do this? And what does it look like? And what does it look like when you come out of the field? And even with Call Boss, what does it look like when I'm not taking calls? Like, what are the next steps? Building all that, you have to put in the time. You have to be thinking about it all the time, creating, implementing, and everything. And so I think for the first, I don't even know, 5-10 years,
right,
it was different. But here we are, year 13 with one of the businesses, year 6 with the other. We have a great leadership team in place. And I can say, phones are off. Everybody's gone for the day. I'm wrapped up. Now I have to think about the family, and myself. And you.
Hey. Yeah, I struggle with that because I feel like we're not like, Little John's has gotten to a pretty decent pace, and we're on a good pace right now. Call Boss is got a great leadership team, but we're still growing, right? And this other adventure that we're on with the CRM system is like it's all there now. It's just tweaking it to make sure it's exactly what we think needs to be. So I think there's a lot of like that, and I think the working part is very different from what it was 5-10 years ago. When 5-10 years ago, it was you in the field, or us in the field, or me in the field, or it was a lot more of the working in the business instead of on the business. And I think at this stage in our life, there's a lot of working on the business. And I remember I took something away from Jonathan Prokoshkinik a long time ago. He's like, man, working on the business isn't always at your desk, at the office. It starts in the morning, right? There's a process and like your routine that you go through. It's really thinking about like what needs to happen, how it happens, what's the next big idea, how do we, like right now working a lot on marketing, like how we bring more leads in for Call Boss or Little John's, and what's a qualified lead versus not a qualified lead, like just tweaking like kind of what we're doing, and then letting the management around us run everything around us. Fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I say absolutely a lot, kind of. But we do. So there's always, like you're saying, the big ideas, they start in the morning, they start at lunch, they start whenever, because there's always something that's popping into our head of how we could do it better. Right. Or maybe we're missing something and we don't know what that is until we start really like bouncing ideas off of each other and find a way to improve or even bring something new.
Right.
And that takes a lot of time. We used to talk about clarity breaks when we were doing traction and trying to figure out like the EOS model for those of you that know. And clarity breaks in the beginning just didn't happen. Like there was no time.
Right. But there's no time because you don't know how to make the time.
Right.
And I think that's the big takeaway is like you have to figure out how to make the time. Right. It's one of the things I have conversations with leads all the time for that they're talking about joining Call Boss. Their biggest thing is like, oh man, I'm just too busy. Because you're used to the chaos you currently have, right? And you don't understand there's a whole nother side of this. Mm-hmm. You just got to get to it. Or maybe you know that, but you just don't know how to get there. So I think that work-life balance and your seasons, right? Like that all kind of tie in, right? Your work-life balance, I don't really have it, but I operate all the time and I'm constantly trying to do it. Nikki likes to have her downtime, likes to shut it down. I struggle with it. But I think that's what really makes us work pretty good together, is because we understand kind of how each other operates. And I go for a lot of walks early in the morning. Like, I have a routine, and I like, it's crazy. Like, I go down to I listen to like lo-fi music currently, quiet in the background, and I go for walks, and it is just puts me in a just deep thinking about like what needs to be accomplished. How are we gonna overcome whatever obstacles we have? And for me, that works really, really well. And I'm more disciplined now than I have ever been as far as like working out and eating and all the things. But I think it's also like really had a positive effect on the business, because I can work a lot, you know, and I think that sometimes that it's not always a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but it is like, I think that's for me, like that's where I feel that we're at in the seasons. And don't be thinking about seasons as like these short periods of time. Sometimes I believe a season can be this long undertaking, right? Alex Hermosi's like, oh man, I know I'm gonna have to do this thing for the next couple of years or whatever that is. A season can be long. Like, you're in a season to try to push the business to do one thing or another, right? And looking at the big picture of your business, of like your seasonality of your business, and how do you plan ahead of it so you can try to not just accept when it's slow, but like, how, okay, we're slow there. What can we do so we continue to be busy to offset the slow time, right? Like, that's thinking on your business. That's working on your business, not in your business. Fair? Yeah,
I think a lot of the industries that we cover, like with Call Boss or even in Little John's itself, is there is different things that happen at different times of the year. So we can always plan for those events. But with newer industries that we're tapping into, we may not know the seasonality, but we're learning as we get in there more. But being aware of what that seasonality looks like so you can plan. Make sure you're ready for fall. Make sure you're ready for the slow season that's coming.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to plan ahead. I mean, if you're talking in terms of Call Boss, we carry a lot of people during the winter when things slow down, because we're predominantly landscape based. Yep. Even though we have companies in other service industries, we're always looking to offset those with other companies. Like we were just talking today in our level 10 meeting, HVAC. They're busy all year round. We really could use more HVAC companies to help us with our winter seasonality. Right. Right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're just strategizing, right? Strategizing to offset the slow times, because they're slow, but is there a way so they don't have to be as slow as they have been in the past?
Right. And that's a season for the team too. So if it's slow, what are these people doing? Are there other tasks that we can do? We do a lot of fun things. We do a lot of Wheel of Wonder and have people leave early, but it's volunteer. Like, there's different things that we do that keep it fun for our team at Call Boss. But by adding in other service-based industries to our fold, that would be amazing. Yep. And we're always looking to do that.
And like Little John's, right? November, December, and really kind of rolling into January are slower seasons in Arizona. But it's like right now we have different ideas on the board of like, what can we do to offset that so we can keep this rolling instead of having this like slowdown period, right? Can we just keep the momentum going and like working on those kind of things? So seasonality is like, yes, there's seasons in your business, but there's also seasons in your work life. There's seasons of your employees. And it's just understanding those and understanding like the big picture of why you started a business in the first place.
Right.
I think all too often people kind of lose sight of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Create themselves a great job instead of creating themselves a great company.
I mean, to tag on to that, I think some people like us start a business out of desperation and they don't even know what it looks like to work on your business.
Right.
All they know, you always say it, a technician is a great owner operator. They're a great technician, but they don't know how to like own and lead and all the things that come with your business.
Yeah, they're great at they're great at the skill set they have, but it's like expanding that skill set. The other thing too is like Nikki and I don't live like crazy, like throwing money everywhere, but it's because in the beginning I would watch other companies. They have a little bit of success. They go out buy the big truck. They go to buy all this toys, and now they just become they just came payment poor, right? Mm-hmm. And now you can't grow the business because you don't have any money. All that money is getting fed into all your toys and stuff. And if that's the business you want, that's awesome. But like big picture, that's not what we want. We want to have, well, we call it FU money, but we want to be at a level that that isn't really an obstacle to be able to spend.
Right.
Right. And I know maybe that sounds selfish. I don't know, but we work really, really hard and we have goals, and there's not a lot that's going to stop us from making those goals.
It's improving our life, but improving the lives of the people that work with us too.
Absolutely.
Right? So, and like we care about them and we care about their families and we care about their balance. We don't want them to leave here and just be thinking about work. You know, right. It's okay that they come in and give us 100% while they're here and then leave and do their next, family thing, family time, whatever that looks like, whatever that may be. But they know they've done a good job while they've been at work with us, and then there's balance there.
Right. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think there's a lot there to unpack. And I think that like seasonality is we just talk about it quite a bit,
Yeah. And I think, it's beneficial to discuss it because some people come in as we've grown and got a better quality employee, because that takes time and money to be able to afford people who are really skilled at what they do.
Yeah.
They've also shown us their work-life balance, and most of those folks really want to be here and put in the time while they're here. And then I'm like, okay, end of day, everybody wrap it up. It's time to go. And they might have a few things that they still need to button up, and we'll button things up. But I want them to know, for us as employers, we're going to grind while we're here, but we're not going to grind you while you're here. Do what you need to do, get it done. And then if everybody's good, it's time to go, and don't think about it. You might have some ideas that you're going to bring back to the table, but it's not a demand.
No, and I think, but the caveat to that is that we have goals set, right? That we have to try to meet sales goals, how big, we're trying to get this year, what we're trying to do per month, per quarter, per year, right? We have those set out for us so everybody can see it and we're striving for it. But yes, we're not trying to nope, you need to be here till 9 tonight, or whatever.
But some places do.
Yeah.
And we want to keep good quality people that want to be here.
Yeah. Yep. And we learned that lesson. Look, we're not telling you we're experts on all this. This is as we go through our business journey, we've learned this stuff. We've learned that hey, you know what? You can push people, but to a limit, and then you are going to burn out great people, or great people aren't going to want to be around.
Yeah.
And you need great people. As you grow, employees are the foundation of what you have, right? And if you don't have great employees, then you don't have a great foundation. And if you have great employees, you have a great foundation, and it'll probably grow faster if you have the right people in place.
Yeah.
Fair?
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Most of the people at Call Boss are ride or die. Little John's is getting that way too.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see.
Well, it's kind of interesting. And I think that this is just a touch on employees, just because I was talking about this morning with one of our supervisors. It's amazing. Every company has their solid foundation people in the field or in the office. They're just there every day. They do their job. They do a great job, but they kind of ride under the wave, right? And sometimes, and even I think maybe a lot of times, you focus on the headaches, the couple people that are just, messing up, not doing a great job, right? You attract so much attention to that versus having the attention to the people that are consistently here doing a great job, and celebrating their wins.
Mm-hmm. It goes back to seasons. The people that are headaches, as we call them, you don't want to be a headache.
That's right.
Don't have your name come up too much. It's a season, because once people start popping up in that headache realm, it's time to reevaluate. What's driving you? What makes you want to be here? Why do you want to work with all of us?
Right.
Do you still like the work that you're doing? Are you proud of the work you're putting out?
Right.
All of those things. And then we discuss seasons.
That's right. And then as a couple, I think, as you're a couple longer together, you start recognizing when somebody's burning out. Nikki came to the office, that was Monday, and she's like, dude, I am done.
I was tapped when I got here.
She was struggling, right? And fortunately, we had a meeting that we had very fortunate, we actually had an off-campus or off meeting, And so like I was like, okay, cool. We can cut this day short, right? That does not happen very often at all. Mm-hmm. But we both recognized it. You know, she recognized it. I saw it. You could see it right away. Like she was like, oh man, like
there was just too much outside stuff going on that I wasn't going to be productive. So it was like knock out a few key things that needed to be done. And then we had a meeting anyway. So we just made it a half day.
Yep. And so that doesn't happen often, but as a couple, like you need to recognize when yourself is feeling a certain way, but also when your partner is feeling a way, right? Or maybe your partner's bent because you said something one way, they took it another, right? And if you don't recognize those things, man, that can carry over and that just gets ugly. So I think having those conversations quite often, you know, like, hey, you said this, I don't really understand this, or you said this, I didn't really like the way they said this. You know, can you clarify? It speaks volumes, because otherwise, you know, you're going to have you're going to be mad at each other at work and then going to roll right into home, right? And you don't want to do that. So I think for us, what makes Nikki and I very unique is that we live together, we work together, we have kids together, right? So like we're together all the time. And I think we're pretty dang good at reading each other of like what's happening.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time going through therapy to figure out how to communicate just to make things better. And I think it's helped a ton, because now I can say, you know, you're bothering me. Oh, yeah. And it's just not good. And then we take 5 minutes and be like, okay, we're good again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes it's just like we communicate different, right? We call it meat and potatoes. I want to just hear like the bones of it. I want to know like this, and move on. Nikki is like, let me tell you the backstory. Let me tell you why.
I like the side dishes.
That's right. So
most people in this building like the side dishes. You're like the only meat and potatoes.
Yep. But they know how to talk to me. They know how, like, what I need, because you know, there's too many things going on at this point in time.
You're like the bullet point guy. Just that's it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't care how we got there. You'll find a solution.
That's right.
Yep.
You got to make it happen. So anyways, seasons, predictability, you know, understanding if you're going to be working with your spouse, you need to make sure that you communicate with them really well, even with the people that work with you, and then recognizing when people are burned out when that season's over.
And hopefully there's another type of season in the workplace that they can get, right? A lot of times, like we always say, we don't create seats for people, but there are seats that are available and seats that aren't.
Right.
And can't have two butts in one seat. So with that, hopefully there's another spot or another avenue for them to maybe get into and redirect and spark some new energy, new passion, and make them excited about work again. But if there's not, then we bless those that are moving on.
Blessed. You've been blessed.
That's right. Because we don't want to see anything, you know, happen to anybody. We want them all to be successful and have a good life.
Absolutely. Do you have anything else to add?
That's it on work-life balance and seasons.
All right. Till the next one.
See you on the next one.
Bye.